Okay, thank you for joining me. This is Beto Paredes, and today is an incredibly good day. Let me just make sure it's incredibly good by checking my audio. Always got to make sure that's working the way I need it to, and it looks like it's doing great. So everyone, Tuesday morning, I was not here yesterday or Friday. I took a much needed break. It was difficult not getting up and spending some time with you here, though, because I really do count on the morning mindsets to be specific to helping my own personal journey, not just the journey that we're all on as entrepreneurs, but the one I specifically feel is engaging me for the moment, for the day, and I'm here to invite you along for the ride. So the morning mindset is brought to you by Beto Paredes. And of course, you can always join us if you're listening to this on either a podcast or on YouTube by going to tinyurl.com/MMS today. And you can join us here. We do this Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. I'm sorry, not from 7 a.m., at 7 a.m. and Pacific Standard Time and 10 a.m. Eastern. So love to have you on here. We usually cover a subject, so get a notebook, get a pen. We're going to talk about some things I think are critical to managing yourself specifically today over the course of time. How do you manage time? What is time? How does it affect the way you see your work, and how important is it? That's the subject we're going to cover this morning in our mindset. So let's get to that. Time management equals self-esteem. Now, I have actually given a mindset on this. In fact, we're over 100 mindsets at this point, and that was my first one. So that was pretty awesome to kind of think about that and kind of reposition it in my mind. How do I really want to drive home the importance of time management? Okay, so first and foremost, I want to talk specifically about my main theme here, that time management equals self-esteem. Okay, I believe that self-esteem and self-confidence are very related, but I like to look at them a little bit differently than each other. Self-confidence, for example, would be my ability to stand before you and speak as I am speaking to you now. That takes a certain level of self-confidence to feel that I can talk to an audience, connect with that audience, and give them something valuable. It takes self-confidence to get on a phone and dial somebody up and ask for their business, or to offer an opportunity to someone that you know to come and see what it is that you're doing for your business, to possibly join as an entrepreneur. These things, these actions that we take, these steps through time, all right, are what build our self-confidence. But our self-esteem is our personal perspective on who we are, what we identify with, what we stand for, right? And that goes all the way from what we do for work to the relationships with our family, with our wives, our spouses, our girlfriends, our kids. Okay, self-esteem is the perspective you have on you, on your own personal blueprint of what it is that you personally believe is important. Now, that is a difficult point of view to really grasp continuously, because the minute self-confidence wanes, okay, you made a phone call, didn't go so well, somebody was rude to you, you had specific things you planned to get done, and your morning got completely torn into shreds. Whatever it may have been, when you said, I'm going to take said action, then you take said action, and then you have confidence that builds because of said action. And you start to experience the opposite. You become counterproductive. The things you thought you were going to get done, you didn't get done. Remember, we talk about life as it moves in the curve. There is no straight lines. So as we move in this curve of somewhat unpredictable evidence of success, some sort of predictable, okay, self-confidence and the things that we're doing is constantly challenged. And what matters is our self-esteem, our personal view, our blueprint of what these things mean to us as they come in altercations to the things that we originally believed were within our schedule. Okay, self-esteem and time management equal each other. So we're going to talk about what I mean by that, because I'm talking very specifically about your personal perspective. If you put something on a time management grid and you look at your calendar and you think about your life and you start to design your life specific to the goals that you have or the strategies that you're building to accomplish the things that you want, your accuracy becomes more prevalent. By being focused on understanding time, you will become more accurate. Okay? What you want is more accuracy. That's what you're looking for. A way to achieve more accuracy in the things you're trying to accomplish. Said thing should happen, did happen, maybe not right on time, but you were more accurate because you managed your time well. When you were on a phone call with an individual, before you got off the phone call with that person, for example, you established the next time you would speak with them. That doesn't necessarily mean that your self-confidence was high during the time you were speaking with them at the end of that conversation, only that you followed a certain level of mechanics. You believed in yourself enough, in the self-esteem that you have, that talking with you again is worth it. And so you're keeping it within the accuracy of your actions. Okay? The only time we would ever shy away from calling somebody back is if our self-esteem tells us that that individual is going to somehow in the future tell us no to the thing that we may be asking them to do. If you step away from that point of view and just think about mechanics and accuracy and precision, your self-confidence will rise, but your self-esteem will soar. Because when you say you will do certain things and then you do accomplish those certain things, even if it's not beautiful, even if someone doesn't buy exactly as you thought, even if all of the things you thought were going to happen today the way you thought they were going to happen didn't at all, but you managed your time and you became more accurate, okay? Because you could tell me one day that you want to buy something from me and act super excited. I could call you next week on time and work on bringing you closer to a proposal, a sale, writing a check. But you may have a different opinion about the whole situation and need 6 more weeks. Well, I'm going to do everything I can to capture your business sooner. Okay? I want to accelerate the process as much as possible to a point of impact, which is purchase. But if you're telling me these things that I have to wait 6 weeks to speak with you again, and your reasons are your own, and you are in charge to some degree of when we speak next, well, I'm going to fall to the accuracy of making sure that happens. That I call you when it is time to call you back, 10 minutes before schedule. I'm going to focus on the accuracy or the mechanics of that given situation as what creates my personal perspective of our relationship. Everybody, in my opinion, the way I look at things from the way we give our service at my company that builds software, let's just say that one for example, is that everybody's going to buy from us because we give so much of ourselves in every conversation that we have. And I believe in that. That's self-esteem to myself that I believe that's true, and I really do try to deliver that in every possible way that I can. I really do that. And because of that, it's more important for me to be accurate than for my self-confidence to be boosted because somebody specifically signed a proposal today, let's just say that, or just loves everything they hear. Maybe everybody today is not going to love anything they hear. Maybe everyone will be too busy. Maybe all of the people I'm speaking with are going to get that one partner that was never on the phone call in the first place to come in and just start shooting bullet holes in the ideas that we have. Maybe. But my self-esteem is based on the accuracy and the precision that I develop through my mechanics. Okay, so we're going to talk about how important that is. Accuracy and precision are time-based. Okay, you want to be as accurate as you can. You want to be as focused as you can, primarily of getting to that point of impact. Okay, that precision of making sure that it's not your mechanics that are stopping a sale from happening. Okay, more it's that they specifically, being a client, potential, or a customer, or someone joining your organization, whatever it might be, are giving you good information about how to continue being more accurate. Okay, Eric Worre talks about this specifically of don't worry about getting them into the business, worry about setting up the next exposure. I love that. I've always been a huge fan of always knowing when you're going to speak with somebody the very next time. Okay, if you're on a phone call with someone, you better have your notebook out and write down, make sure you set that next appointment before you're done. Always know when. That's point of accuracy. If you're going to always know when, you have to manage your time. You have to have a calendar you can look at specifically and always know when you can. If you're going to be accurate, you have to have mechanics. You have to have a system. So accuracy and precision are time-based. And what do we say about time management? Time management equals self-esteem. So if you're accurate with your time management, you're accurate with your mechanics, and of course always calibrating those. We'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, if you're accurate with those things as consistently as you can possibly be, and you let that be the driving force that moves you through your day to make adjustments as you need. Okay, Stephen Covey talks specifically about, life's more like driving a car. Sometimes you got to correct a little bit from the right, correct a little bit from the left to stay in the lines. Okay, but what matters is you correct it. You don't just pull off the road, right? Or just wreck into a tree because you just feel like you're a little bit off. Robbins talks about how most of the time you're only just a degree off. Okay, so don't make things so blown up in your minds. Don't do that to yourself. Okay, don't let your imagination get away with your emotions. Stick to the accuracy and precision of your program. If you're working on making a mechanical situation in the way you work your day accurate, get your time management to where you know right when you can meet with people at all times. Okay, that's as simple as using Google Calendar. That's as simple as opening up your Outlook and learning how to use that. I schedule everything. I design my entire life. I've found that the most successful people out there do the exact same thing. They design their entire life. Okay, so you must develop the mechanics to the outcomes you want to achieve. Why is immediately followed by how. Everybody needs their why. Robbins even calls himself the why guy, right? Help people figure out why they want the things they want. Well, you got to understand how to take action on the things that make sense to apply your knowledge and your rate of understanding to getting the outcomes that you want. It's based on time management. Why is immediately followed by how. And I can tell you right now, the simple, straightforward methodology. All of us are dealing with people. Figure out a way to compose some sort of a CRM system that manages the accuracy of the relationship. Write accurate notes. Be thorough about the conversations that you have with people. Have massive clarity. Okay, that is more success in your mind than a continual closing structure. Like if I close like 10, 15 clients a day, I'd love that. Some weeks I close nobody, but I still end that week and I feel great because my self-esteem was based on accuracy. And then sometimes, man, I close 4 or 5 in a day because everything's been focused on funneling that forward using a mechanical system that makes sense. Okay, so you must develop the mechanics to the outcomes you want to achieve. Why is immediately followed by how. Mastery is an emotional state. Okay, we talked about this before because we had a mindset that's on mastery, to develop that perspective. Okay, mastery is an emotional state. It's important to understand that the blueprint that we are is something that we aim at. It's a direction that we move. Okay, it's not necessarily a true destination. It's a developing destination point that allows us to aim with some accuracy, but to aim nonetheless. Okay, so mastery is an emotional state. You get in that state of mastery that you're moving towards. You got momentum towards the goals that you have. So that's an emotional state. You're in that state of action, of activity, that physiology. Okay, mechanics are the driving factor. The foundation of your mechanics is time management. So mechanics are the driving factor. I'm in that state. Okay, the problem a lot of times with personal development coaches and in little clips that you get on YouTube, I'm sure some of the longer sessions, even Tony Robbins stuff, I'm sure is absolutely beautiful. RPM, for example, is an incredible program that I take a lot from. I love it. But in all retrospect, if you have that state of mastery and you're ready, you're revved up, you know what I mean? You're going to make it work. You're going to make it happen. Nothing can stop you. Now what? Now what? That now what has to be answered by mechanics. Mechanics are the driving factor. Organize your time. Manage your time. Accuracy and precision are time-based. Accuracy and precision build self-esteem. Time management equals self-esteem. You want to feel great about everything that you're doing. Focus on managing your time. You will get very rewarded for doing that. You will get incredible information by doing that. You will be able to look at your contacts in a very different way continuously, daily, if you manage your time. Make the mechanics important. Okay, Robbins talks about how mechanics are 20% and psychology is 80%, and I could not agree with that more. But that 20% still equals 100% in the overall view of where you're headed. If you don't understand time management very well, study it until you do. Come up with a program that makes perfect sense to you. When you walk into your workday, understand how you are using time. If you don't understand how you are currently using time specifically, when do you meet with people? Why do you meet with people? How long do you meet with them? What are you trying to accomplish in an initial meeting? Do you have something like a discovery that you do with your potential clients first? Do you have a progressive sales format where from that discovery you move them forward, continuously vetting the situation and learning more? And do you have a time-based perspective on how long you keep people in that hot funnel before they start to become somebody you chase a little bit? I have that. Okay, if I get them in and I get a proposal in front of them and they don't close immediately, then I start looking at things a little bit more time-based and start asking the right questions. But the only way for me to see that much perspective is to manage the time accurately. I use a system called Narada specifically myself. Okay? Important. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be an Einstein. Okay? Most people are highly underestimate their ability to learn, though. I do want to make that point very clear. Start reading. Okay? But the truth is, to be successful, you have to build self-esteem. Okay? Self-confidence is constantly getting chipped at. But self-esteem, you can control that completely and totally by increasing accuracy and precision of the things that you're looking to accomplish, and always have absolute clarity on the time grid of things that you're working on and what you think your deadlines are, what you think the timelines are, whether that's internal projects or external potential partnerships or sales that you're trying to close. You should have an accurate understanding of where in time all of these things fall. So I drive that point at the top of this page one more time before we end. Time management equals self-esteem. Get more accurate. Develop better precision with the way you're dealing with the mechanics of that time management. And you will build confidence. You will build the ability to close more sales more often over the score of a much larger number of people. You will be able to manage way more than you even could conceive of managing right now, just by getting more accurate with your time management. So let's make that a goal this week. Thanks everybody for giving me a couple of days off. They were well needed, and I feel refreshed. I feel ready to go. I feel ready for this day to be a successful day for all of us. So write down a few things that you learned today. See if you can apply that to the way you're going to get out there and manage the rest of your day. And I look forward to speaking with you again tomorrow.